At this point, I'm convinced that God is a basketball fan because he always seems to give us a generational talent at the perfect time. Let's make no mistake about it. What we're seeing right now from Victor Wembanyama is a part of basketball history. I'ma just go ahead and say it. I think that we're all spoiled as basketball fans. Say what you want, LeBron James is pretty much the proof of that. This man has done things in the NBA that we just won't see a lot of other players accomplish. Here's one thing right here. LeBron James went to the NBA Finals 8 years in a row. And since LeBron has won his last ring during the pandemic, there has not been an NBA team that went to the finals back to back. Let that sink in for a minute. LeBron James went to the finals 8 years in a row. And since that time, no team has been back to the finals twice. We just saw Wemby and the Spurs do something that I said they would do, and that a lot of other people said was crazy as hell. And that was eliminate the best team in the league from the NBA playoffs. Which also means that at 22 years old and his first year in the playoffs, Victor Wembanyama is going to the NBA Finals. The Oklahoma City Thunder won the championship last year, and they were one game away from being the first team since LeBron to go to the finals 2 years in a row. And I know some basketball fans might not want to hear this, but the Thunder losing Game 7 and not making it to the finals has automatically disqualified SGA from the Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant conversation. It's a cruel world, and life is unfair, but I didn't write the rules. Once Mike and Kobe made it to the finals for the first time, they went back 3 years in a row. This is Worldwide Classic. I'm Southside Tre, and I only talk about the best of the best. And just like that, SGA is out of the mix. Unless him and the Thunder could come back and win 3 chips in a row, Victor Wembanyama might be the only chance we have of seeing somebody be better than Michael Jordan. That journey starts tomorrow night with Game 1 against the New York Knicks. Not only have we just seen LeBron James and Steph Curry dominate the past 10 years, but before Steph or Bron is even retired, here comes the giant 8-foot-tall creature that's shooting threes from half court. And if God isn't a basketball fan, then how do you explain the Spurs and the Knicks going back to the NBA Finals after almost 30 years? It's almost under the same circumstance as 1999, that being a third-year star leading the team to the NBA Finals. It's kind of strange to see the similarities between Tim Duncan and Victor Wembanyama. Wemby is pretty much just the evolution of Tim Duncan. And then Wemby getting that type of wisdom and knowledge from a 5-time championship coach in Greg Popovich is going to be the ingredient that makes Wemby the most dangerous player in the NBA. Keep in mind, this is Wemby's first year in the playoffs, and he's going to the finals. He showed throughout that Thunder series that he's still trying to figure out how to play at this high of a level. And there's basically still a lot of work left to do. And that's what should be the scariest thing for the rest of the NBA. Wemby is pretty much still a baby out there. But just like we saw from Chet Holmgren, can't nobody do shit with Wemby. With all of the inexperience that Wemby has, he's a damn problem and a nightmare for the rest of the league. That's why in the NBA Finals versus the New York Knicks, just like in 1999, I think the Spurs are going to sweep New York in the finals. If anything, I see New York still in Game 1. So even though my heart is telling me that the Spurs will sweep, my brain is telling me that New York is going to get one game out the series. And Game 1 has to be it. The Spurs just got pushed to the limit against the former champion. And for a lot of those guys, this is their first year in the playoffs. So I'm pretty sure after the war they just had, the Spurs are tired as hell right now. And I am from Chicago, so I'm a little bit conflicted because I do want to see Karl Anthony Towns do his thing. And I think right now we got to stop playing games and put Mike Brown on that list as one of the greatest coaches of this era. How could he not be? You look over the past 10 to 15 years, Mike Brown has his fingerprints all over the NBA Finals, whether it was being the assistant coach or the head man in charge. Mike Brown has been a part of championship basketball. In the same way we all recognize and respect Greg Popovich and what he's done for the Spurs, we got to start recognizing and respecting what Mike Brown has done for the NBA. I'm sure Sacramento King fans will be the first one to tell you. They should know, since they saw Mike Brown help get that team back in the playoffs. I'm just not a fan of the disrespect I feel like is always associated with Mike Brown. I say that because no coach of his caliber should just be bouncing around the NBA the way that he does. And now that Mike Brown has helped get the Knicks back in the title picture, New York City should be his home for the foreseeable future. I also got to take some time to salute the Jalen Brunson. Like I say, we're spoiled as basketball fans because it's just not Wemby that we're watching become a generational player. Based off what WNBA head coach Becky Hammon had to say, Jalen Brunson is making history against all odds. Becky Hammon pretty much said she didn't believe in Jalen Brunson, and I'm pretty sure there were many others that felt the same way. I love a good underdog story, and this is probably one of the best ones we've had in the NBA. And I think that's kind of a cool fact that Jalen Brunson played college basketball with his New York Knicks teammates Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges. I'm going to say it one more time. I think God is a basketball fan because every time you turn around, we're seeing special things happen in the NBA. And when Victor Wembanyama wins this NBA championship, we might be watching one of the best basketball players that ever played the game. This is Worldwide Classic. I'm Southside Tre. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Full-Time Digital House, and follow me on all social media, Southside_Tre. Appreciate y'all.